This video will demonstrate how to create and use folders in Google Drive. If you have uploaded folders from your computer, the folder structure will remain intact, so any subfolders will remain nested in their parent folders. Now, let's learn how to create a new folder in My Drive. Click on My Drive here in the left navigation bar or at the top of the screen to make sure that you are at the top level of your drive. Click the New button and choose Folder. In the pop-up window, type the name of the folder and click Create. You can always change this title later if you want. You can see my new folder right here at the top of my drive list. Depending on how you have chosen to sort your drive, your new folder may appear in a different location. However, no matter how you sort your drive, all your folders will appear at the top, followed by any documents that are not located inside of a folder. Double-click on the folder to open that folder. Notice that there are no files in this folder yet. Click on the New button again to create a document. We'll call this Practice Document. And if we come back to the drive in a moment, that will show up right there. You can also create a subfolder like that. And another way to create a folder is by clicking on the arrow up here and adding a new folder there. So if we open one of these subfolders, you can see that it's empty right now, but notice that along the top we have a trail that will help us keep our place inside of our drive. So let's come back to Practice folder. You can choose an item like this document and simply drag it into a folder that way. And then when we open that, we'll see that document inside of our subfolder. Alternately, you can right-click on the document, click on Move To, use these arrows to navigate through your drive directory and select another folder, and then click on the blue Move button. Notice here you can also create a brand new folder if you choose. I'll click there to move it. And now if I click back on my Practice folder, there's the document moved to the new folder. For the next demo, I created another practice document to demonstrate that you can move multiple items at one time. So here I am in the list view. On a Mac, I'm going to click on the first item, hold the Shift key down, and click on the second item. Now I can move both of those into the practice folder, any other folder that I want to drag to, or I can right-click and use the Move To feature instead. Both ways to move two documents or multiple documents at one time. If you're in the grid view, you can also click and drag to highlight both documents, and again move them by dragging, and there they are in the new document, or by right-clicking and using the Move To option. Another way to organize your drive is by clicking on this little arrow in the left navigation bar. So here's my drive. If I click on that little arrow, it will expand all of my folders here. So I can open any folders and move documents around or move folders around here. So no documents display, only folders, but you can organize and move around your folders that way if you like. Another thing to keep in mind that's handy for organizing your folders is that you can right-click on any folder and change the color. So you may want to change the color of a folder to a bright color while you're working on a project, and then you can change the color back to the default gray when you're finished with that project. And you will think of other ways to use the colors to color code your drive in a way that's best for you. Keep in mind that your color scheme is just for your drive. If you share a folder with someone else, that folder will appear gray in their own drive, ready to be color coded in that person's drive if they choose. You'll remember that the entire contents of your Google Drive lives in the cloud. If you choose, you may download any files or folders to your computer. The files or folders remain in your Google Drive, but you'll now have a copy on your computer. Keep in mind that this is a separate copy, so if you make changes to the document in Drive, the downloaded copy will not be updated, and vice versa. If you make changes in the downloaded copy, the document in Google Drive will not be updated. The best way to download a single document is to open the document. Then you click on File, Download As. And this way you have a choice of how those individual documents will be downloaded. If you have Microsoft Word on your computer, you'll have the option to download in that format. Otherwise, I recommend that you download in PDF document format. You can also download the entire content of a folder by right-clicking and choosing Download. Your file will be zipped into your Downloads file. The length of time it takes for a document or folder to be downloaded depends on the size of the files and your internet connection. You can also star a file or a folder by right-clicking and choosing Add to Starred. This file or folder will now be accessible in both its original folder and in your Starred folder. Click on Starred in the left navigation bar to see your list of starred items. It's a good idea to limit the number of starred items to those that are truly important to you at any given time. To remove an item from the starred area, simply right-click on it again and click Remove from Starred. This removes the item from the starred area but retains the item in its original folder. Remember that starring files is another organizational technique just for you. If you share a starred file or folder with a colleague, it will not be starred in their drive unless they star it. You can also delete a folder, just like you delete a file, by right-clicking on the folder and choosing Remove. The folder will be moved to the trash, and you can recover it by clicking on the trash, clicking on the folder, and choosing Restore. One final advanced tip about files and folders. You can add a file to multiple folders. We've already learned how to move a file to a new folder by dragging it or by using the Move To command, but this only moves the file to a new folder. When you want to keep the file in the current folder and also add it to another folder, use Shift-Z. Select the file and then press Shift and Z at the same time. This will open a little pop-up window where you can navigate through your Drive directory and choose the folder where you want the item to go to and move it, and then click the green Add button. The file will now exist in both folders. Because it is the exact same file in both folders, any changes you make to the file will display when you access a file from either folder. It can be really handy to have a file saved in more than one folder, but keep in mind that if you delete the file in this folder, the file will also disappear from the other folder. This video contains a lot of information. In the description below the video, make sure to click on Show More to view all the topics in this video. Click on any of the hyperlinked times to review a specific topic.